finally, I'm in the mood to film something. I feel so excited about this. I even don't know, like this background, everything, the mood, the weather, like everything is okay now to film. So I think it's really very interesting to talk about stereotypes about Russian people, and I want to search what English speaking websites are talking about us. I really enjoy doing this in my free time, maybe because I used to be a cross cultural communication student and I studied cross cultural communication. Yeah, surprise, surprise. And I know that actually I'm supposed to clip the micro somewhere here, but I really like to pretend like I'm a real journalist and I need to hold this micro right in my hand. So sorry for that. Maybe later I can clip it, but now I want to enjoy the process of this. So let's get started and let's go with the stereotypes. So I decided not to prepare like some really special information. I decided to just Google Russian people stereotypes, and I clicked, I think, on the first website. So here it is. Yeah, like you can see it. It's called like 15 stereotypes every Russian hates. Every Russian hates. And I guess it's not a Russian website. So there is just some information, just like basic information about Russian people. Yeah, we're so interesting. So other people like to discuss us. So let's go to the first stereotype about Russian people. Surprise, surprise. It's called All Russians Drink Vodka. Being one of Russia's national treasures, vodka is indeed a very popular drink. However, beer is just as popular, especially with the rise of craft beer culture, and only slightly more popular than wine. And believe it or not, some Russians don't drink at all. So, for example, me, I don't drink, like only sometimes, maybe on some special occasions. So I think this one, it's like a real stereotype. I don't know, like people around me, they don't drink vodka. So maybe not in Moscow. Yeah, I'm sorry for telling that, but I think people in different regions, like in different cities, they really differ. So we, for example, can't compare people who live in the capital with the people who live like in very very small or like tiny towns, so we can't compare them. Maybe this is a stereotype about them, but I think people in Moscow, even if they drink, so they drink not vodka, I think. So let's go to the second one. Second stereotype is very interesting because it's about Russian ladies. So it says like Russian ladies are hopelessly domesticated. Hmm, I even don't know what to say. Once Russian women are done looking for a rich husband, they turn into spineless, unkempt homemakers that just cook a lot. So, what do you guys think? Are Russian ladies hopelessly domesticated? Hopelessly. I really like this word, hopelessly. So, sorry for repeating it like again and again. But I think no. I think Russian ladies have a lot of hobbies, actually. And especially nowadays, yeah, we have job, we have a lot of responsibilities, of course. Um, I think we have everything the same as like what guys have. So I think it's like there is their big stereotype. No. Another one, Russians never smile. Russians never smile. This one, I think, actually, yeah, we really don't smile a lot. And this is not because we're not friendly. I think actually Russian people are really extremely friendly, but we just don't walk like this all the time. We don't have this excited face. And maybe we really smile around our friends, not just to some strangers on the street. And when you just live in Russia, you don't even notice this thing. But when you travel, for example, when you go to some hot countries, especially like Spain or Greece, or maybe even to America or to the Europe, yeah, you really can tell the difference. People there, I think, a little bit more open, they smile more. Yeah, so I think actually this one, it's really the truth. We don't really smile. So we smile, but not like just to some strangers. It's about climate, it's about the weather in Russia. So let's see. Russia is unbearably cold. Russia is a vast country with 7 climate zones, so the weather can get pretty extreme from 45 degrees to deathly minus 64 degrees in winter. I can't tell. Actually, I can't tell because I live in Moscow my whole life. So I've never traveled to such extreme zones, but so I don't know. Really, I don't know what to say. In Moscow, sometimes it feels like it's unbearably cold, really, and you just don't want to go outside. And I really dream of living somewhere in Spain or in Greece, like with a lot of sun and sunshine. I don't like really cold weather. The next one, it's really funny. Russians only wear ushanka hats. So, Russian guys, tell me, do you have ushanka hat? So, do you really have it? I don't, for example. I really don't. But sometimes actually it's really very cool. I think it's a modern trend, and a lot of people, young youth, they like to wear this Shanka hat. I think if you style it, if you match it with appropriate clothing, it can be really very nice. Yes, and it's like, I'm Russian and I'm proud of my culture. I'm proud of this Ushanka hat and I wear it. So I have nothing against Ushanka hats. However, I don't have one. Russians have USSR nostalgia. So what do you think, guys? No, 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 no. I think it's really a very big stereotype. Maybe my grandma does, but me, no. Like, no way. And I think people like the youth, like people about my age, or I don't know, maybe a little bit younger or a little bit older. So we don't really feel like going back to those times, or maybe it's not good thing to say like this, but I don't really get positive emotions when I think about USSR. No. For me, like I think like the USSR, it's like creativeness killer or something like this. So I don't know. I'm not against, but it's not like I have nostalgia or something like this. No. One more about Russian ladies, but not only about ladies. So, the stereotype sounds like Russians are always overdressed. Russians, and especially women, do love dressing up, but who doesn't? Really, who doesn't? Who doesn't? This is only true for Russians living in cities where women can wear heels and a fancy dress for a casual walk. In rural areas, people are far less glamorous. So maybe, yeah, maybe this is right. That's right. So I really do think that Russian women, they really like to dress up, and me as well. I really like, and it's not only for some special occasions like birthdays or Christmas party, for example, or something like this. No, it's even just for walking, or even if I walk alone, sometimes I really like to dress up. I don't know. I think it's just our culture. Or Russia is extreme. I like this. Russia is extreme. And this photo. Yeah, so I think now you know what I'm going to talk about. This one might actually be on Russians with all those YouTube videos of crazy diving, ice swimming, and bear hugging. It's easy to assume things happen every day, although it's far from reality. This is a favorite media stereotype to cash in on. So this one, I think, it's just like a joke. It's like really a joke because I know that a lot of Russian people even think that ice swimming is really crazy. Like, not speaking about bear hugging. It's very crazy. It's too much, too much. Another one, very similar. Russians are immune to cold weather. Oh, it's such a fiction. Me not, me not. So people often think that the temperature in Russia never reached about 0 degrees, meaning that Russians are somehow biologically wired differently to never feel the cold. This is very crazy because I can't stand cold weather at all. And I know a lot of Russian people who also can't stand really cold weather. And actually, some old people like grannies or grandfathers, they just even stay at home while this extreme weather. And of course, we were really very winter, very special clothes, like just to go somewhere. So no, no, it's like a real stereotype. It's all about stereotypes about Russian people because other stereotypes are very similar to those which are mentioned. And to sum everything up, number one, I think it's about drinking. It's about alcohol and about vodka, of course, like yeah, don't want to comment that. The second one, like the most popular, it's about that Russian people never smile, that we're very unfriendly, and on and on. So another very popular stereotype is about Russian ladies, that we really like to overdress, that we're very beautiful, so which is very cool to read. And another one I think very, very popular is about extreme, like this extreme character, like ice swimming or hugging with bears or like keeping bears as pets at home. Yeah. So, which is of course funny and just a fiction. Still, I think it's a very interesting topic for discussion, and I'm really waiting for your comments. What do you think about Russian culture, like positive or negative? It's really very interesting to me because I really I like to dive into this cross cultural communication topics, and so I will be very happy to read any comment. So, Russian people or not Russian people,
Hey, what
I'm
up,
really
girl?
waiting for your comments. I'm
How you
really
doing?
waiting for this discussion. What do you think about
I don't
these
want to come on
stereotypes
too
which I
strong or nothing
mentioned?
like
Maybe you
that,
have
but
something new, maybe you have some funny stories.
I've been
So
thinking
let's
about
chat,
you,
discuss, and I really hope you liked
and
it.
I've been
And
wondering.
so see you
I've been wondering where you lay up.
from my
Where you at?
pet bear.
So, sure. Where do you go to? Where do you go? Where do you go to? I wanna know. How do you